Wait a minute! It's not Sunday night. It's Wednesday! The weekly recap when we are soccer. We missed Sunday night. Apologies. Some of us were traveling for youth soccer and a bunch of other stuff, but we didn't want to miss a week, so here we are. We had a lot to talk about. Promotion relegation is coming to the USA? Are you kidding me? Ooh, some people are really happy about that. Are you? A lot of us have questions. We got lots to get to on Pro Rel here in the USA. Don't worry, though. We'll get all your questions answered. And it's international break. Are you happy about that? I'm not. A lot of people like international games. I don't mind them, let's put it that way, but I prefer the club game. We're going to get to the USA and who they're playing, England, who they're playing, and what competitions everybody's in. Because it's World Cup qualifying, it's CONCACAF, it's Nations League. We're going to talk about it, all right? Also, what EPL player is currently looking at a lifetime ban? The Football Association wants him out. We'll tell you who and why. And starting next year, the EPL is going to have a new ball for the first time in 25 years. Goodbye, Nike. Yeah, we got a lot to get to tonight. Lots and lots to get to. Stick with us. Do me a favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share, put your comments in, and let's jump in, fellas. What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Well, yes, hello, friends. As you heard me say, it is Wednesday, March 19th, I believe. 2 days after St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to those of you who celebrated. Hopefully you had a beer, a pint of Guinness, or something to calm you down. And cry away the club season being on break for a couple of weeks here. We are in international break officially. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of those games. We're going to talk about the big news that broke today. USL is going to be doing Pro Rel in 2028. They also have a new division they're starting up, so there's a lot to get to there. We just have a ton to get to. I'm excited about the Champions League, as my team, Aston Villa, is now in the quarterfinals against PSG. We're going to talk about the matchups there. I'm very excited about that. I'll tell you why later. We're looking at a lot of other things. World Cup qualifying, that's going on officially as part of the international break. USA are playing Panama, and then, provided they win, could be playing Canada or Mexico. We'll talk about that. Also, an EPL player is currently looking at a lifetime ban as the Football Association want him out and gone. We'll tell you who and why. And a new soccer ball is going to be coming to the EPL next year. That's actually big news. The first time in 25 years, a new company will be making soccer balls for the EPL. A ball that apparently is lighter, softer, moves more true, so that will hopefully help goalies out. But strikers with a little softer and bouncier ball might be able to strike a little harder. So we'll talk about it. All right, not just me here. I'm with my good friend, Mr. Brooks Lambria. Brooks, how are you, buddy?
Hi, Craig. Oh, I'm good. I missed you guys this weekend.
Yeah, we were out of town.
Yeah, you and Nate down in Indianapolis doing soccer for kids and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I'm good. But it's the Open Cup. The Open Cup has officially started. So I was watching. There's first-round matches last night, and there was a cup set. Amateur team beat Texoma last night. They had some upsets last year in the Open Cup last year as well. So there you go. That continues, and then more tonight, and then so yeah, it's been a good week of soccer, and then international break, man. Tomorrow night, Tomorrow night, we got the U.S. men's national team play Panama, so that'll be a good one for the Nations League. And then, obviously, the winner plays on March 23rd. The winner, and they play the winner of Mexico and Canada, so that'd be a good one as well. So I'm excited.
And that game is right after the USA, right? So USA,
Yes.
Panama play at 7 o'clock, and I think 10 o'clock or 10:30 is USA versus Mexico. I'll be
Canada
honest.
versus Mexico.
I'm sorry, what?
Canada versus
I'm sorry,
Mexico.
Canada versus Mexico.
Yes.
I'm more interested in the Canada versus Mexico game for some reason. I don't know why. I just
Be interesting.
out of the two games, I think just that might be a little bit of a better game. Anyway, we're going to talk about that coming up soon. Before we do jump in, I want to say happy birthday to two of our friends. Happy birthday to Mr. Tom Farrow, very good friend of the show, very good dude. I don't know how old he is, but I swear to you, he's not a year older or a year over 32. Dude looks phenomenal, however old he is, okay?
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Tom. Hopefully you enjoyed your day. Happy birthday to Nate, who is not with us tonight. His birthday was yesterday. Listen, I'm not going to be as kind to Nate as I was to Tom. Nate, you look your age, but you have the muscles of a 22-year-old. He's in shape. He gets a lot of compliments on his physique. So happy birthday, Nate. His birthday was yesterday. Do me a favor, guys. Throw Nate a happy birthday in the comments. We appreciate it. All right. Big news that broke today, Brooks, as part of U.S. soccer.
Yep.
So, all right, let's take a step back. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had USL come out and say, hey, we're doing a new division. It's going to be Division 1, right? So you've got, what do they call it? Division 1?
It's just Division 1 right now.
Division 1.
They haven't named it yet.
They haven't named it. It'll probably be the USL Premiership or something silly. Anyway, USL Division 1. Then you've got USL Championship, which is currently the top division in USL. Yep. And then you're going to have USL League 1. So you got 3 leagues.
Yes.
That's what it's going to be. Okay, so now you've got that. They're going to make a name change in 2 years, kind of just giving it a name change, just a little bit of a rebrand, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. Now, all the owners, I think there was 42 owners in total.
Yes,
or something
42
like that,
clubs that voted on this.
voted on this, and they had what do they call it, a super majority?
Yes,
which
and I
is-
can define that for you if you need me to.
Before we say what they voted on, but tell me what a super majority is.
So
Yes,
so everyone knows a majority is 50% plus 1. A super majority is often require a higher percentage, so it could be 60%, it could be 2/3, it could be 3/4.
Okay.
I don't know. They didn't say in the article with the Athletic what was required, if it was 75% or not, but a super majority probably meant at least 2/3 or more probably were approval of it.
Okay, so that makes sense. All right, so let's just say 2/3 or more
Yes.
voted yes. We want promotion and relegation in the USL.
Yep.
So it's happening, but it's not starting for 3 years, correct? So we're going to run
2028.
We're going to run
Yep.
2 seasons here
Yep.
without Pro Rel.
Yep.
Then we're going to do Pro Rel.
Yep.
Okay. Listen, this is the first time in professional sports here in America the Pro Rel is going to be happening. I mean,
Yep.
Brooks, if there's ever a time you should have pushed the applause button, that was it.
My bad.
Okay. Now, I read this story as it was breaking this morning, and I wasn't quite as excited as I am now about it, but I do have hesitations.
Sure.
I have a lot of hesitations about this because currently, if you're a USL team, you have to pay a franchise fee.
Sure.
It is a franchise. Okay.
Yes.
And the top division right now, USL Championship, the franchise fee is north of $650,000 per season.
It depends. It depends what it varies all the time. Obviously, it goes up and whatever. But I will say this: at least there's no. It's not like MLS where it's all about the league and league owns it and it goes back into the league. Once you buy in, you're an individual club.
You're in.
And so it's a little. But I understand there's an expansion fee for sure.
Now there's an expansion fee in the lower leagues too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
moving to 2028. Let's pretend 2028 is Pro Rel starting now today. Yay! My team gets relegated out. Down. Can I go further down the chain outside of USL?
Like outside of the pro status.
So we've got Division 1, Championship, League 1.
Yeah.
If I fall all the way down the ladder and I'm the bottom team in League 1,
So League One is the bottom.
so can I fall out of that?
You cannot fall out of that.
Okay.
That is what they have established in Paul Tenorio's article. They did say you can, at least for now, when it starts, if it started in 2028 or it started today, you cannot fall past League One.
Can anybody? And so that means if no one can fall out, no one can come in. It's still a little bit of a. It's a pyramid.
Yes.
But it's a closed pyramid.
It's a smaller pyramid. Let's call it that.
Okay, but it's a start.
Yes.
For Pro Rel, and at some point, we hope that it will be an open pyramid.
Correct.
And maybe that's what they're looking towards in the future. You will hope.
Correct. And let's further expand upon
Please.
that. So, if USL League One's the bottom, I'm sure that's USL telling the USL 2 clubs, okay, or like as a league office, how do we, if we want to make it completely open, how do we make it so it's easy for our USL 2 teams to come up and be a pro side?
Right.
And then if our pro teams fall into semi-pro, we'll call it at that point, how does that league generate revenue? Because there's no TV money, obviously. In England, National League, at least you have some type of TV, right? Like,
yes.
You have some type of revenue coming in and sponsors and everything. And all these USL 2 teams, they gain sponsors, local. That's how they pay for a lot of their stuff. Plus, they draw fans. But I think if you're going to do a full relegation pyramid and you're going to dive into USL 2 where the amateur clubs are, you're going to have to set that up where whoever falls, how do you, what's the payout or how do you move up and how many, because there's there's over 100 some USL 2 teams.
Right.
So how do you work that? That's the thing.
There's a lot of work to be done here.
Yes.
But they've given themselves 2 years, 2 full seasons to get a lot of this worked out.
Yes.
So we'll use the Premiership and the English Football Association. We'll use the English Pyramid as our
That's a typical one.
And that's the one everybody in the world really looks at and regards as the pyramid that we understand. And so Premiership team, this happened to Sunderland several years ago, right? Sunderland Till I Die, the documentary was all about this, right? Yep. Sunderland, they dropped down to the Championship. And what ends up happening as Sunderland dropped down out of the Premiership to the Championship, they were given a parachute payment because the Football Association, everybody involved in that pyramid understands that when your club drops down, it's a huge loss. It's a huge loss in revenue. So we're going to give you parachute payments. Currently, or most recently, it was about $90 million over 3 years. And that's to take care of wages. That's to take care of loss of income from TV and everything like that. So, and then Sunderland dropped down again. And then they dropped down again. This is a very real possibility that this happens because players who are good enough don't want to be relegated and they'll get purchased up by other teams. Now, here in the USA, if someone drops down from USL Division 1 to the USL Championship, is there a parachute payment? And if so, how much is it? There's a lot to work out here because
that's the questions they have to figure out.
There's a ton of stuff to figure out here.
Correct.
But I am excited. I'm excited that it's starting somewhere. My hesitation is twofold here, Brooks, and I apologize. I'm taking up the majority of the
No, that's okay.
Here,
Go for it.
But I apologize.
Good.
I'm going to come at it from the other side.
Yeah.
They're not involved with MLS. And everybody, now let's put it this way. Someone in England or someone in Europe or anybody anywhere in the world who's watching this is going to go, oh, that's awesome. They've got Pro Rel in USA now. That's really cool. Yeah. So USL,
how's the top of the pyramid split?
Where's MLS?
Correct.
That's what everybody in the world, so everybody in England goes, MLS is your top league.
Yeah.
So how does MLS fit into this? Now, there's 2 silos in U.S. soccer. One is MLS and the other is USL. Yeah. This is how this works here. Yeah. Will they ever merge? We don't
know.
I highly doubt it, but we never know. We'll see if money brings them together in the future, but I can guarantee in the next couple of years they're not going to merge. Nothing like that's going to happen. But that's my one little sticking point of you got this other league out there you're competing against, and who knows if in a year they go, you know what, we're going to compete against your Pro Rel. We're going to do Pro Rel as well, and we're going to have 2nd and 3rd division teams, and that's how we're going to do it. Yeah. My other little sticking point is there might be Pro Rel within the 3 divisions of USL, but it's still a closed pyramid. You can't drop out.
Amateur teams can't get the pro.
Can't.
Can't. Correct.
So
that is not what we call as a true. Now listen, there actually are, like if you do go through Europe, like Finland and all those, there are ones that really don't let the amateur teams go up and there is a ceiling for.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But the true one everybody thinks about is Germany, Italy, England,
La Ligas.
La Liga. Like,
Spain, yep.
it's like, oh, I come from 6th division and I work my way up, and it's because it's a beautiful thing when you're an amateur club and you start.
We've seen it. We've all bought into We Are Wrexham, right?
Welcome to Wrexham. Yeah.
Welcome to Wrexham. That's it. We've all bought. We Are Wrexham's the name of our Facebook group that we help run.
Yes.
And DJ Hobley does a phenomenal job, by the way.
Yes.
If you're not signed up for We Are Wrexham, sign up for our Facebook group. It's phenomenal. Put some good stuff in there. Anyway, welcome to Wrexham. That's the true fairy tale story.
It is.
A club that's
That
on
you come from amateur.
hasn't been up for years.
Correct.
And has just been down in their luck. A community that just follows the team, but they're not very good. Owners come in, put a little money into it, move up a level. There's this level. That's excitement. I mean, just oh my God, do so much for the community, and all of a sudden, wait, they put more money and they move up again.
Correct.
And then again. And in 2 years, they could find themselves in a premiership if they keep on this rise. I mean, it'd be a huge fairy tale. But anyway,
Correct.
That's what we really want to see.
But I'm
currently that can't quite happen with the USL stage.
I'm okay with this partial closed system. Like, I'll call it partial closed because it's open, but it's because you can move up pro leagues, but you can't go to amateur to pro. But for me, it prevents people that don't. I think soccer, when you own a team, whether it's amateur or these guys that buy these League One, MLS Next Pro, championship clubs, there's still a learning curve. I mean, I tell my friends all the time, I hope USL Championship or the USL headquarters or MLS runs these people that have no idea about soccer. You get a PowerPoint presentation, you get like a seminar, you run into a seminar and you're like, this is what soccer is. Like, this is how it works. This is what it looks like. And either they don't do it and people don't pay attention. But, like, we're still very not soccer smart in this country when it comes to running.
Right.
So if you fully went open with it, it could be a disastrous setback for USL because there could be very highly ambitious people in USL, too. They're like, well, I pay a lot of money, and I do very well, and I go up to the USL League One, and it's like, oh, God, my budget, like, tripled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's to prevent the people that are ambitious but soccer morons from coming in to do that because, then that's when you start, well, I don't like at NISA, like, oh, I'm going to put all my money in, this I can't make money in this. Like, how, like, that's why NISA and ASL folded the second one because there were morons that didn't know what to do.
Sure.
And, but that's what it's preventing. So it is open enough to where you get a taste of it, but it's not fully open to where the morons can't, start, we lose teams because we've lost so many pro clubs in this country.
I hope at some point they open it up and I can form a club or a team and move up in. It'd be great. Yeah. All right. My other, I'll say, little sticking point or kind of sour grapes about is they still want to do playoffs. They've said they still are trying to figure out how to do pro rel and keep playoffs.
Yeah.
I think, in all honesty, just effing get rid of playoffs. You don't need playoffs. Okay, it just isn't needed. The Premiership has come down several years to the last game where you're looking at 2 or 3 games at the top of the table and 2 or 3 games at the bottom of the table, and it's so freaking exciting because it means so much. Now, you can have playoffs for the lower divisions, right? So in the English Championship, you've got the top 2 teams who finish 1 and 2 automatically move up. Teams 3, 4, 5, and 6 go into a little playoff with each other, right?
Correct.
3 plays 6, 4 plays 5.
Correct.
Winners play each other at Wembley.
Yep.
Winning team is that third promoted team. So you can do that.
Yes.
But I feel like they want to really continue the American tradition of playoffs when it's not needed in our sports.
Yeah.
So
how about that first quote we bring up? The one where we talk about where the fans and everyone get to decide.
There's your quote. There you go.
Yeah. So, it says here, the USL is going to work with owners, TV partners, and fans to determine exactly its pro rel system will look like. Then Paul McDonough pointed out that an American league has a unique problem. It needs to be put on the spotlight in both its playoffs because it's very American at playoffs, as we talked about, that determine a league champion as well as pro rel battle. So how it balances those two respective competitions is crucial. So I like the aspect of we're going to survey the fans. We're going to survey the owners. We're going to ask our TV guys. So that's CBS right now.
Sure.
And currently ESPN too. Now, will ESPN want them? I don't know. But I know CBS likes it because, their ratings seem to do very well, and people said that USL, championship final, championship playoff match had better numbers than MLS's did.
Sure.
And that was a noon game or a 10 a.m. game in Colorado Springs, because it was 2 hours behind, and it just worked for some reason. I don't know why. It had good numbers and it worked.
I feel like they're just trying to shoehorn playoffs in because they've had success with it in the past, when if you just say we're getting rid of it and watch the pro rel, there's nothing wrong with doing promotion relegation for a year or two and then going, you know what, we're gonna rethink this. I mean, it happens all the time. Excuse me. Why don't we bring up your other quote here? We'll continue on.
And then we read some comments here.
Oh yeah, please.
So we have some guys, people tune on YouTube.
Hi guys.
Tom Farrell's tuning in. He says, "Happy birthday, Nate." BX Gunner 81. I can't wait for Average Joe's FC to make a debut. So if that ever gets to the full open system, there you go.
I like it. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. And by the way, Detroit Bullets as well.
Yes.
Get that open. Our over 40 team will skyrocket through those leagues right up into USL Division 1.
Exactly.
Me and Scotty Emmer can put a team together.
Yeah. BX Gunner 81 again. USL will give a lot more exposure and availability to hidden gems and unnoticed quality. I do agree with that. If it's, even now with the partial open system, I think it still will. When it's fully open, I think you'll see that. Mark J, pointless to have playoffs and promotion relegation. Do it like English Championship, not like college basketball.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Absolutely spot on. There's no effing need for playoffs. And if you really got to shoehorn it, do it at the two lower divisions of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Leave Division 1 alone, let the other two divisions do the playoffs. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I had a thought I wanted to add in there, but that comment just took it away from me because I agreed 100% with it.
Okay. Perfect. Second quote.
Yep. Okay. Second quote from Paul Tenario coming up. Yes, sir. Hold on. I think I just moved a bunch of stuff around. Oh, boy. How did I do that?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yep.
There's your first quote.
That was the first one,
Get rid of that one. There you go.
Yep. So USL will study variations of Pro Rel, including the possibility of having the top teams from a lower division play in a playoff against the bottom teams from a higher division to determine if teams move up or down. So very much like, which talk about championship and Premier League, that's where our Bundesliga, I'd say it's more of, where that third place team, in the Bundesliga challenges the Bundesliga 2 team. That's what that looks like to me.
Yes. So if people,
which I like.
If people aren't aware, in the Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2, this is how it happens. Your bottom two teams, so the teams that finish 18th and 17th, you're gone. You go down to Bundesliga 2.
Yes.
See you later. The team that finishes 16th plays against the team that finishes 3rd in Bundesliga 2. And they go into a home and away little playoff.
That's what that sounds like from that quote. And they're considering it, which I'm fine with.
And maybe
a lot of leagues do that in Europe.
Right. Maybe they don't have all the answers right now.
Correct.
And they're thinking,
but they have a premise.
We have a premise. I'm okay with that. Yes. I like where that is going.
Yes.
Okay.
Third quote.
Yes. For Paul Tenario. Hopefully I don't screw up any of the more graphics. Hold on. Here we go.
Yep. So this is kind of a continuation of the last one. So much is still to be determined, including the number of teams that will go down and up from each division, respectfully. USL also must determine how many teams will play in Division 1, and then they're saying, they're aiming for 12 to 14 teams. The third division, USL League 1, will be, and like we said, established as the bottom of the pyramid.
Sure.
And teams would not be relegated from there. So I'm fine with how that starts. I'm completely fine with that. But that's all we pretty much know from those quotes in that story. That's all we know of how things will work. The parachute payments we don't know about. I'm sure they're going to talk about that. I think it's very important for teams because they're not MLS standard where they're making hundreds of millions of dollars. These teams are not necessarily breaking, even, a lot of them in USO.
Yep.
So I think it's imperative that you have some type of parachute payment and hopefully sponsors pick up so then teams can make more money.
With this new Pro Rel in USL that they plan on rolling out in 2028, more TV will get involved.
Yes.
TV, more sponsors will get in. It's going to bring a lot more money into the sport in that side of the sport. Again, for those watching who may not know the difference between USL and MLS, MLS is its own system, own franchise system. That sits over here. USL sits over here. Two completely different siloed leagues.
Yes.
That's one of the big problems that we have in this country with soccer.
Yes.
It is what it is. that's just the way it is. Now, here's the ironic. Let me speak properly. Here's the ironic thing, Brooks. I read an article a couple of years back after I think it was 2019, 2020 season finished MLS.
Yep.
They surveyed a bunch of players. They first surveyed all the players, actually all the players in the MLS, and they said, "What do you want to change about the league?" 52% of the players in MLS said, "We want to see promotion relegation in this league." Now, you might not think that's a big percentage.
That's almost half the. That's half the players.
More than half the players. The other 48% was like dispersed among several other topics.
And they were probably on the fence,
random
they didn't
things.
want it. Yeah.
Right. But promotion, relegation, almost more than half the players said we want it. It's not coming to your league, MLS. It's going to your competitive league.
Yeah.
All right. So
we have a funny quote here in a second.
all right, read that off, and then we'll finish this up.
Yeah.
Go for it, buddy.
So, Mark J., if you're relegated from USL League One, all players should have to play the next season in Taylor Swift wigs. There has to be a drawback for being bad.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
like that one,
well
too.
Done. All right, we got a lot to get to today.
The one thing I just want to finish with.
He wants to add some more.
One more. So it was a great, question they had in our We Are Soccer private Facebook group.
Join the group if you haven't. Facebook group We Are Soccer. Join it if you haven't already.
The gentleman tied the announcement of the promotion relegation to USL for the reaction of what MLS Next made that tier 2 and absorb more of the youth leagues. He was like, is it that or is it something else? And I made the comment. I said, listen, it's not, I think MLS Next and the youth stuff is totally separate from USL because many USL academies besides Louisville City who have sold the Winder brothers, one to LA Galaxy, the one to Benfica, so Josh and Elijah.
Sure.
And they have a few other guys they brought up their academy. Most academy quote-unquote academy players that have come through USL have been kids that have left their MLS academies because there was no place for them to play above, and they didn't want to play for the second team. So like a Fidel Barajas, who was it was blocked at the first team level, goes to Charleston Battery, does well for a few years, gets sold to RSL, and then RSL sell him to Chivas Guadalajara. Or Matthew Corcoran at FC Dallas, who goes to Birmingham Legion. And then this year he just got bought from Birmingham Legion by Nashville SC. And there's been plenty of other, players and whatnot. So for me, the promotion relegation piece from USL, because MLS has talked about MLS 1, 2, and 3. They have talked about that. It's not been serious, but they have talked about it.
Yep. This
reaction is because MLS Next Pro and these independent clubs, the West Michigan, the Grand Rapids team, Chattanooga FC that was once in NISA that moved to MLS Next Pro, Carolina Core, a team in Cleveland's popping up. There's a couple other ones. There's one in Connecticut that's popping up in MLS Next Pro. This reaction to me for USL to do the promotion relegation is because if you're going to battle for the same city between MLS Next Pro and USL, you've now given the people that want to start the franchise a reason, hey, I can join a league where I can actually move up from each pro division from 3 to 2 to 1, rather than just sit in this MLS Next Pro League and play MLS second teams and, hope that we do well, and, because they're not going to draw good crowds with them. So this is, in my opinion, the reaction to what USL did. Now, they've talked about this for a couple of years, this pro rel for USL, but it needed to be done to stop this, so they had a chance to keep surviving.
All right, we're going to move on, but I do want to know, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the comments if you like this. If you think it's a good thing, give it that thumbs up. If you think it's a bad idea, give it that thumbs down. I'm expecting majority to give it a thumbs up, with the understanding that a lot of the pieces haven't been quite sorted out yet, right? The playoffs haven't been sorted out. The parachute payments haven't been sorted out. And yes, it's a closed pyramid, but it is some sort of pro-rel, and what we've been crying out for as a soccer community here, right? We do have a lot to get to. I just want to answer one quick question. I got a question about whether I'm going to the Aston Villa meetup in Charlotte. I am not. I will not be attending because I am going to be flying off to England and watching PSG at Villa Park for the Champions League game. Yes, sir. I will be in attendance in that game. I could not miss my Aston Villa playing at home in the Champions League quarterfinals against PSG, so I'll be there. All right, we have a lot to get to, as I talked about, guys. We are talking about the USA playing tomorrow. We're going to show you the roster. We're going to talk about some of the players that are some of the players that are playing, some of the scenarios. Mauricio Pochettino, it's a big game for him. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Champions League, as I just mentioned, Villa playing PSG. I'm going to tell you there's a two-leg, or the higher seed plays the away match second. So they play their home match second, the second leg. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about what player the Football Association in England is trying to ban for life. And then there's a new ball in the EPL. We got a lot to get to, folks. We'll be back right after this.
All right, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh, wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh? Oh,
Mannequin.
oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, guys, welcome back. Big thank you to our partners. A big thank you to Soccer World, as you saw there. SoccerWorld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. Trust me. My wife, she started playing soccer again, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, I saw a photo on, Is that her that bought the pink cleats?
Yeah. So she goes, I need some cleats. And I go, well, obviously you're going to Soccer World. She goes, yeah, I know. How much am I looking to spend on soccer cleats? I go, listen, you're not going to play for years and years and years. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on cleats. She got the
sale rack. There's some good ones.
Yeah, and she got the great pair of boots, soccer boots, for $30.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a brand new Adidas in the box, like brand new. So Soccer World, SoccerWorld.net. Trust me, get to Soccer World. And if anybody's asking, no, I'm not allowed to play on my wife's co-ed team. She's distinctly said I'm not allowed to play. So a bunch of other players. She asks everybody else but me.
Yeah.
Big thank you to Next Level Training. They are the absolute best trainers in the country. There's a reason the professionals and all of the top level players fly into Metro Detroit to train with Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. Hey, they got a bunch of specialized clinics coming up. Get onto their website. Get onto We Are Soccer. We promote them. We help them. You can find the information on Next Level Training there. Get to those training, kids, because guess what? June is right around the corner. What happens in June? Tryout season. You got it, Brooks.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the last second. Get to Next Level Training starting today.
It's also spring, which
Get
means
ready.
showcases,
Get
which
ready
means
for-
college recruiting.
Got it. Get ready for those showcases. Get ready for those tryouts, kids. Get to Next Level Training. They'll set you right. Big thank you to Michigan Jags, MichiganJagsFC.com. My kids play for the Jags. We were down in Indianapolis, my son and his U12 Jags pre-MLS 2 team. We won the tournament. Phenomenal tournament. I tell you what, we had a blast. The Jags do a really good job helping those kids along, and trust me, it's a great thing. So MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information. A big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He is doing a NCAA bracket, is he not?
Yes, if you go on his Instagram, he's been promoting it. It goes to all the money goes to a wheelchair basketball team that's going to nationals.
Oh, dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Now
if
I'm
you
going to have
read
to put a bracket in. All right.
I did. I said we'd enter.
I'll put another one in. I want to see money
I
go
put my own
towards-
in too. So
Okay,
yeah, it's
okay.
like $20 or $30, and it goes to a wheelchair basketball team. They're called the Rolling Reens or Roller.
Oh, that makes sense. You sent that to me. I was like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I looked it up, and if you read through the message in the body of it, it tells you what it's for. So it's a good cause. All goes to charity. Please sign up. March 20th is so tonight. You need to sign up. It starts tomorrow. So
Starts
yes.
tomorrow morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The football doc is doing a basketball bracket. Yes, that
Yeah.
sounds odd. But also, if you are injured or want to do some baseline testing, hit up the football doc. Dr. Zachary Atwood, not only is a good dude, he's a great soccer player and knows what he is doing. He works with some of the top players in the state of Michigan. Trust me. Get to the football doc. He will help you along. All right, listen, we've got a couple of things to get to here, but we're going to start right now, right away with the game that's happening tomorrow, USA versus Panama. Brooks, I'm going to bring up the roster, and let's talk about that, if I can find it here. You ready? All right, there's the roster. There's what we've got going on for the game against Panama tomorrow. Our U.S. men's national team being run by Argentinian Mauricio Pochettino.
Yep.
This is who he has chosen. What are your thoughts right now looking at this, Brooks?
So there were, just to fill people in, there were 3 replacements. Robinson's injured, Trusty's injured, and then so is Cardoso. So 3 new guys come in. Arfston came in, Gutierrez, and then Jack McGlynn. So those are the 3 replacements just to fill everyone in. Keepers. Interesting. I was listening to the Landon Donovan and Tim Howard podcast, and Tim made a good point. Zach Steffen's been really good.
At Colorado?
Yes, he was. I watched their game against San Jose last week. He is starting to look like the old Zach Steffen again and gaining confidence.
So who do you expect to start tomorrow night for Mauricio Pochettino's? I mean, this is a big game for him.
I mean, you got to play. I mean, I think you have to play a dude that. See, Turner's had the experience with these guys, but Schulte and Steffen have been playing all the time for their MLS clubs, and you got to ride. I think you have to ride the hot hand. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Steffen steps in and plays.
Now, I will say I saw Matt Turner play. He plays for Cardiff City.
Yeah.
He played a couple of weeks back at Villa Park against Aston Villa, and he did very well.
Yeah. It was a cup game, though, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was a cup game.
Yeah.
He did very well. Looked like he hadn't missed any time. Looks like he was on the beat.
Yeah.
He played very well. So he's. I think it could be. I personally think it could be Turner, but I think it'll be Steffen as maybe if Turner doesn't start. But
It's a hard one.
It's
Both
a
are
hard
good.
one.
I
I'm
mean,
very interested.
Turner
Now,
has not done poorly for the national team. He has not let in soft goals,
Right.
and Steffen is now riding a hot hand.
okay,
So that's tough.
Who's got better footwork? Who's got the better feet with the ball?
My opinion, Matt Turner does. And I think Pochettino might take him because if he's going to play out of the back, he needs a guy that's confident on the ball.
Yep. Now now Zach Steffen has good feet with a ball, but he made
They're
some
better.
mistakes.
Correct.
But
Correct.
it's going to be interesting. That's the one I'm really keeping my eye on. All right, let's move on.
Defenders, Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic, Tim Ream from Charlotte FC, Marlon Fossey, Chris Richards, Joe Scally, Mark McKenzie, and Max Arfston.
All right, who's starting in the back? We're going 4?
Yeah.
4-3-3.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to say he starts. Mark McKenzie's been playing a little bit. Richards is. I'm going to say Tim Ream starts at the left center back position. He's a steady Eddie. You know, he's not been bad. He's probably honestly been one of the better players in the field, in my opinion, since you know Pochettino's came on as well.
I agree.
I will say Joe Scally starts at the right back position.
Agreed.
I'm going to put Chris Richards at the right center back, and as a left back, Arfston can play there. That's interesting, though. Marlon Fossey will probably start there, though, because he's got the European experience.
I mean, not to just ride your coattails there, but those were how I had it. Definitely Tim Ream. He's the leader. Yeah. But Chris Richards has been playing very well for Crystal Palace. And I think Scally's been doing all right in the Bundesliga, so put him out there on the right.
Yep.
And then Fauci on the left. I mean, I think that's the way it starts. So there's your forward in the back. All right, now, Brooks, I want to know who's your 3 in the middle.
That's going to be a difficult one. So Diego Luna, I think, coming off the January camp, I think Pochettino loves everything about this kid. Broke my nose.
Yeah.
Next play, get back and make the assist and play through it. Has heart. I think Nate said, compares him like the Kyle Beckham, another group.
Does he start, though?
No. I believe
It's got to be Tyler Adams in the middle.
Well, the funny thing is if you think about it, he's really only brought in a lot of guys he's actually seen, like actually gotten to coach and train. And this is the first time that Tyler Adams is coming in with him.
But Tyler Adams has played phenomenal for Bournemouth in the last 2 months.
Correct.
I mean,
everything makes sense of why he should play.
He's former captain of the U.S. men's national team. He's been playing at the top level of the sport in the world.
Correct.
And they've been winning games, and he is really instrumental in there.
Correct. I think by default he does.
It's got to be.
I would say so, but don't be surprised if maybe he saves him for the final, and then they start him in the final.
Okay.
Just because he hasn't really gotten to know him as well as some of the other guys. So I would say definitely McKennie starts in the middle.
Okay.
I think Tanner Tessman gets the start, and I'll say Tyler Adams.
Okay.
I'll go those 3.
Tessman, Adams, and
McKennie. Yes.
Weston McKennie for sure. Tyler Adams, I'll go with that. I'll go with that as well. That's pretty good. All right, we got 3 forwards to pick. Who are you going with? Because some of these forwards have been putting the ball in the back of the net.
So let's say technically Jack McGlynn is really a ACM center mid.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know what I marked by what they indicated on the roster. They indicated that McGlynn was going to be a forward. I don't buy that. I think he's a 10. If anything, he's not a winger or withdrawn forward. Listen, Christian Pulisic is starting.
Absolutely.
No doubt about that.
Yep.
Like in a big game like this, he starts both.
Off to the left or in the center?
So that's the thing is it becomes interesting because if you really think about it, if you go back to the midfield play, you can technically start Adams and McKennie, then throw Pulisic at the 10.
Because
he's been playing there for AC Milan.
That's a good point.
He's also played out wide.
But
I'm going to say he starts wide.
He just does so well wide, especially for the U.S. men's national team. Whenever he plays wide, you're just like, that's your natural position, kid. He loves to come back at the ball, turn and run at people, and use the space behind or cut into the middle onto his right foot.
Correct.
He has to start.
I think he does. He starts wide. I think he starts on the left because he likes to cut inside, and that's where he's better. Center forward. He's had Brian White in. He's not had Josh Sargent, and he's had Patrick Agyemang in. Agyemang scored twice for him in the January camp. He just scored last weekend for Charlotte FC. Agyemang is a different body, a different type. I think he still has a lot of work to do, to be honest with you. But it is Panama. He may start him in that game. And then who knows if they play Mexico or Canada. I imagine Sargent or White would start.
Yep.
I'm going to go Agyemang starts in this group with Pulisic. And then on the right side, I'm going to say Yunus Musa plays. But also, Yunus Musa could play in the middle,
so you're
in the center of the park,
leaving Tim Weah on the bench. I'm gonna find. I think he's going to find a way to get Tim Weah, Musa, and Pulisic in there. I think he'll find a way to make that happen.
Okay.
I think he has to because you can't. Now, don't forget, Panama beat USA 2-1.
Different team, though.
Agreed.
I mean, we are different now. We are.
Well, essentially.
But Panama are tough. They're not easy to play against.
I don't think Pochettino can risk a loss.
No.
I think he wants to get through. I think, and then you'll deal with the final when you get there. So I think he starts with the strongest team. I think he'll find a way to get Musa, Weah, Pulisic.
It's possible because what scares him with Agyemang is he's never played with those 3. They weren't in the January camp, so that's
I
can see that,
especially those guys.
Maybe it's Sargent then, because Sargent's played with them.
Yeah, who play in leagues that he knows. Right?
Sure.
Pochettino knows the Serie A. He knows La Liga. He knows Premiership. Yeah. He knows those leagues are the top leagues in the world.
Yep.
That's what he's going to need. He needs that experience. He needs that. So I think that's where he goes. But it's going to be a fun game. What time's the kickoff tomorrow? Is it 7 o'clock or something?
7 o'clock, 7 o'clock I think I gave you a graphic, didn't I? Give everyone that show you that?
It in there,
yeah.
I think. All right, it's going to be a good game. Give me a prediction. What do we got? Panama what? USA what? What's the score?
I'm going to go U.S. men's national team 3, Panama 1.
I'm going to go 2-0 USA.
Okay.
USA 2-0. All right, Brooks, that'll wrap us up for the U.S. men's national team. All right, no, you know what? I'm going to ask you one last question.
All right.
Everybody put score predictions in. We'll come back and we'll get them. But put your score predictions in, USA versus Panama. Brooks, who is winning Canada versus Mexico? Who do the USA potentially face, should they be Panama, in the final?
This is a rough one because both, Mexico has not done well of late, and then Canada's going through all those, Spygate things that's going on. And, but you got tight pants Jesse Marsh coaching for you.
Yep.
Which is very ambitious, and he's trying to breathe some life back into that Canadian men's national team program. So
he is.
It's gonna be a rough one. There's gonna be some cards flying, I think, in that game. Both have a lot to prove. I'm gonna say Canada is 2-1 with the upset.
Oh,
I think Tight Pants gets it done.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it reverse. I'm doing the reverse there. I'm going Mexico. I think Mexico find a way to beat them. They have struggled for the last couple of years, absolutely, but I think this is their start to turning it around. I think they'll beat Canada with all the dark arts, with all the games, little tricks and things they can throw in there. I think they'll beat Canada, and I think we're looking at,
I will say this,
USA, Mexico in the final potentially.
Strikers they have Mexico, both Jimenez's, Santiago Jimenez, and then Raul Jimenez.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been scoring goals for Milan and then for Fulham,
Yeah.
So they do have the advantage in terms of the strikers.
Agreed. Yeah, I think it's going to be a potential USA-Mexico final, which will be
always
fun.
a good one.
That'll be fun. That'll be really fun to watch if that happens. All right, let's keep going. Other games that are happening this weekend, over the next week here, are UEFA Nations League matches. I know there's a lot of those out there. Brooks asked me for a list of the games I'm looking forward to. My response was none. I hate this competition. I just don't like this competition. They're just adding more games to add more games and trying to make more money, and good luck to you, FIFA. There's a couple of good games out there, right? Like you were telling me about Scotland.
Scotland plays Greece, and there's those two divisions, and my buddy was telling me, because he knows the Scottish national team staff is just, they got to win. They got to win this one so they can stay up, and it's a difference of £5 million, he said.
Yep.
So
there are games out there that have implications in the Nations League, and yes, some countries want to do well, and they're bringing in players to represent the country who may not have been there or getting a final call-up, so there's something to play for. I'm just not a fan of the competition.
I mean, you got Slovenia and Slovakia playing each other. Come on, that's an interesting one. They're next door neighbors. There's a rivalry there. Then you got Italy and Germany playing each other. That's a good matchup right there. Ukraine, Belgium.
Here's what I would say, Brooks. If I was a club manager and my player wanted to go off to play for his national team because they were playing in the UEFA Nations League, I would say no, you're not. You've got a problem with your big toe, and you're going to have to stay here. And then when the player said, no, I don't, stand on his foot and say, you do now, you're not going anywhere to play in that garbage tournament.
Denmark and Portugal. Hopefully João Felix gets
Don't get
hurt.
me wrong. There's some good games. It's just... Listen, when you've got on the other side, you've got World Cup qualifying games that are happening. Those are the important games because the World Cup is the big one, right? No one's ever going to remember who won the Nations League from 2025 or whatever the hell the last one was. I really don't care.
Oh, the Federation brought the trophy home. That means something.
Sure. All right. now I'm going to give you some games for the World Cup qualifying. It's got 3 highlighted, and they're not great games. 2 of them are not great games at all. But there's a reason I've listed them. Obviously, England, right? I'm rooting for England. Yes. I've listed their 2 games because it's Thomas Tuchel's first real games in charge.
What do you think of the squad he selected?
That's my first thing. I think the squad is garbage.
Okay.
You brought in Jordan Henderson. Why?
Old and steady?
We're playing Albania and Latvia. He's playing in a nothing. He went from a nothing league to just a little bit better than a nothing league. He hasn't played much.
Isn't he in France?
No, he's in.
I thought he got sold from Ajax.
No, he's in Belgium, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The Jupiler League?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, in Belgium.
Listen, I don't care where he's playing. We got players in the Premiership. We've got players all over the world that are playing in better leagues. Jordan Henderson's like 35 years old, man. You need a leader? Really? Jordan Henderson's not that player. I like some of the other players he's brought in, though. Lewis Skelly from Arsenal. I think that kid's going to be a really good player. I'm interested to see how he plays with this national team, with this set of players. So England play Albania on Friday, and then Latvia, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. So there's some games, and we'll see how he sets up against them. One of the other good games that's happening in the World Cup qualifying is Brazil versus Argentina. Lionel Messi is not there. He is injured.
Yes.
They are Messi-less today for this game. Also, Lautaro Martinez injured as well and is not participating in this game. Always a fun game when Brazil and Argentina get together, though.
So does Vinny Jr. turn it on for Brazil now, since he's not been doing well at Real Madrid lately?
No, I don't. He just never plays that good for Brazil. Yeah. I just don't know if he can carry the weight of the country on his shoulders. I just don't see it happening. He has
What's the young boy at Real Madrid?
Hendrick. No, I'm not sold on him.
He's only 18 years old.
He's just super quick. His first touch is off. He's very young. Yeah. He'll probably get a start if he won't start. But anyway, it should be a good game. Yep. Even without Lionel Messi, should be a really good game. All right, let's jump in. I want to talk about, there's a couple of things real quick. We're talking Champions League. And then I want to talk about the player that the Football Association is potentially going to ban. And we're going to do all of that right after this.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch, play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on, touch, play, see it, yes.
All right, big thank you to our partners who've shown a lot of love to us over the years here at We Are Soccer. All right, Champions League, UEFA Champions League quarterfinals.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we start, so Tom Farrell, 2-0 U.S. over Panama, and that's his prediction, and 2-0 Mexico over Canada. So there you go. Now to Champions League.
I bet you both those happen. All right. Champions League, this is it. This is what it's all about. I'm heading to that game at Villa Park. That is the second leg, though. So Villa actually the higher seed above PSG. So the higher seed gets the home game as the second leg. So Villa travel to PSG to play them in the first leg and then come home to Villa Park where I will be waiting for them for the second leg. So that's one of the quarterfinals. The others, Arsenal at home. They are playing at home first against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, the higher seed, will play at home for the second match. Bayern Munich at home against Inter Milan. That is a great matchup. First game's at Bayern, second game at Inter. The fourth and final part of this quarterfinals.
That's a B's in that one.
Barcelona versus BVB, Borussia Dortmund. So, yeah, I mean, listen, man. We have some awesome games. Aston Villa, PSG, Arsenal versus Real Madrid, Bayern Munich versus Inter Milan, and Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. This is anybody's.
It's a good one.
Anybody's. As far as I can remember, this is how it goes. Who has the percentages of winning, the best percentages of winning, as calculated by the Opta score computer, whatever. PSG is number 1 with like 20%. Arsenal were like second, I think, or third. I think it was Inter Milan, then Arsenal. Real Madrid were 4th. I was like, no, they need to be way up there. Bayern Munich were 5th. That made no sense to me. Barcelona was there.
I don't think Opta puts in history in its algorithm.
I don't think it really does. Aston Villa were 7th, and Borussia Dortmund were 8th. They gave Aston Villa 3% of winning, and Borussia Dortmund 1% of winning. So interesting there. We'll see what happens. All right. Do you guys know the player currently right now who's in court against the Football Association in England? He is a player who made some mistakes. The Football Association is seeking a lifetime ban against Lucas Paqueta of West Ham. Should he be banned for life? He was charged for spot-fixing offenses in 4 separate Premier League matches. Paqueta didn't place any bets himself, but family members and friends did place around 60 bets in games that he was playing in and influenced. So, yes, he had some hand in this, in my opinion. Most of the bets were small, though. Yeah. They were not large thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars, right? They're just small bets. I think they're testing out the waters here, in my opinion. I think he may have been able to give some insider information about who's starting, what they're going to do, and the tactics playing in these games to his family and friends who made bets on the games. That's how this works. Now, I think what the Football Association are looking to do here is set a precedence. Really set a precedence and say, you're banned for life from playing in the best league in the world. Go find a job elsewhere. This is a big deal, Brooks. Now, this is going to last up to 3 weeks. This is a long
trial.
Long trial. 3 weeks, they've said. I mean, good. Should he be banned for that long?
Well,
here's the
question. I know you're not the biggest baseball fan, but listen, Pete Rose got banned for betting on his games, and he was, Charlie Hustle was really, making money.
Oh, I know all about that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was when obviously you were alive then and everything, and. NBA, Tim, what's his face that was making the bets, the NBA referee with the.
Oh yeah. Plus just up in Toronto, they had a player.
There's a basketball player who's betting on in games too. Yes.
They just banned him for life.
Correct.
So
this is a common occurrence across all sports, and it's issued in a lifetime ban. Pete Rose didn't get a warning, but I felt like the other two, a few had to go through trial and maybe got no, they didn't get a warning either. So, I mean, listen, I think you keep it across the board, and listen, you can't, even though they were small bets, if you were telling family members certain things, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Still bets, right?
They're still bets, and they profited off your information.
Yep.
And who knows why they needed to make the bets if they were in debt to people or whatever. So. You gambled, and there should be fine rules across all sports that if you even touch and gamble or do anything, you touch gambling, that you're done.
Yep. So I'm in agreement. See you later.
Yeah.
You knew the rules.
College athletes are starting to do this now too.
Every single year, probably several times a year, they read you the rules. You're at a club and they tell you are not allowed to bet. You're not allowed to bet on anything. Mm-hmm. We pay you hundreds of thousands of pounds a week.
Yes. That you can send home to your family.
Need to bet. You do not need to do this. Do this after you've retired. Do this in 12 to 15 years when you're done playing the sport.
Correct.
They tell them. They counsel them. They keep hounding them about not betting. They still find a way to bet. I'm sorry, this is the precedent. You, Lucas Paqueta, will be found guilty. I have no doubt of it. And you will be handed a lifetime ban from the Football Association. And I got no problem with it. I'm surprised Lucas Tonali is back in and allowed to play. Mm-hmm. UEFA were looking into him about betting on games, right?
Yep.
He was suspended for a year. He's back. Now the next one. This is it. You're done, Lucas Paqueta.
Unfortunately, with all the betting apps nowadays, because even high school kids bet, and
so
you know what I mean? Like, everyone's getting addicted to it because, they put a little money here, they do it, and I'm like, I'm sure they think, maybe I should bet on a sport where I know someone that plays and they can tell me things.
Yeah.
It's not good. There's a lot of gambling addictions going on because of all these apps you can download and put money in and whatnot. So I think all the sports leagues really need to consider how do we, everyone always goes through, I think it's a basic thing, you're a rookie coming into the NFL or NBA, like they lay down the law and everything.
Yeah.
But the question is, do they need to do more for leagues across the world?
Well, but here's the ironic thing, Brooks. A lot of these leagues, they have sponsorships. They depend on sponsorships.
They do.
Right?
And it's their betting apps.
The betting apps and the betting companies are plastered over everywhere.
And that's been a thing.
They'll have one plastered here. They've got one here.
Correct.
And
that's the thing.
Sure,
should they have it?
I mean, if you're going to tell your player, you can't have betting in sports. You just can't because those players can influence things, right?
Correct. And that's the irony. It's like you have a betting sponsor and your players, get caught betting, right?
Yep. That's
because you have to do sponsorship deals for those things, right?
All right. Last thing of the night for us, ladies and gentlemen. Starting next year, the English Premier League will have a new football. They will have a new brand of football. Goodbye, Nike. Hello, Puma, my old friend. The EPL has announced that Puma will be its official ball supplier starting next season. It ends a 25-year partnership with Nike. Prior to Nike, Brooks, do you have any idea who the supplier was?
Mitre, wasn't it?
Mitre.
It's not Mitre.
You are correct. You either did some reading or you have a really good memory.
Well, I read through it, but I remember that ball was like. Listen, I was born.
Iconic.
I was born in '91, and I remember growing up like in the mid to late '90s. That ball was still. It looked like a beach ball to me. That's what I.
Well,
say.
It was an iconic ball. I loved the Mitre ball.
Yes.
But in 2001, whenever it was, they moved to Nike, and Nike have run the roost since then. But Puma starts next year with a new ball. Now, currently, Puma supplies the balls for La Liga, Serie A, and I don't think the Bundesliga. It might even be the Bundesliga. I'd have to check into it.
No. Bundesliga is, I believe, the ball that USL uses.
That's right. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Can't remember the name of it. All right, that's going to wrap us up for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining on a random Wednesday night. Yeah. Do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share. Jump into our Facebook group, jump into our comments, and follow along tomorrow as the USA play Panama. We'll be watching, we'll be commenting, we'll be putting our thoughts in on things there. We look forward to that. Brooks, it's been fun. I love doing Wednesdays, man. It's just I love
different.
It. We need to
middle of the week. There's a lot of news going around, so we had a lot to talk about tonight.
We did, and a lot of the news is just current. Like, could you imagine if we had to wait 4 days to talk about Pro Rel?
Oh man, yeah. Well, we would have been in our group text. We would have, and then the problem is we would have decided and picked sides, and then it would be stale on Sunday nights.
Agreed. Well, either way, thanks guys for joining. We appreciate it. We will talk to you this Sunday. So what, like 4 or 5 days away?
Yeah. Well, more than that. 3, 4.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Jeez, whenever it is. Lots to talk about then. All right. See you guys. Cheers.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injury. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep, sorry, Doc. All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord.